Aries, if you're watching this, you already know something needs to change in your love life. You're tired of the chase, tired of the games, tired of being the only one bringing the fire, while everyone else shows up with wet wood. 2026 is the year fire signs stop burning themselves out for people who can't match their intensity. But there's the catch. And fire signs, you don't like being blocked. You like movement, action, progress. So when love feels stuck, when the right person isn't showing up, you get frustrated. 2 decks. The first deck shows me what's blocking your love life right now. The second deck, that's the universe showing me the deeper truth, the one you've been avoiding. If you're exhausted from always being the initiator, just listen to this. Alright, Aries, let me pull your first 3 cards from the Singles and Relationships Oracle deck. Let's see what's really blocking your love life right now. First card, age issues. Second card, too much work. Third card, past trauma. Okay, heavy. Now I'm pulling 3 clarification cards from the Secret of the Rose Tarot to show us the layer beneath what you're seeing. Wheel of Fortune, 4 of Wands, and King of Swords. Alright, Aries, let's talk about what all of this means. Card 1, age issues. Your first card says you feel too old or young to date or have issues with your partner's age. Now, at first glance, this might seem straightforward. Maybe you're dating someone significantly older or younger. Maybe you feel like you've missed your window for finding love. Or maybe you're worried you're too young to be taken seriously. But here's what this card is really saying, Aries. You're using age as an excuse. Not consciously, but somewhere in your mind, you've decided there's a timeline for love, and you're either ahead of it or behind it. If you're younger, you tell yourself, I need to focus on my career first, relationships can wait. If you're older, you tell yourself, everyone good is already taken, I'm starting too late. Either way, you're using time as a reason to protect yourself from vulnerability. Here's the fire sign specific piece. Aries, you're a pioneer. You don't follow timelines, you create them. But in love, you've bought into this idea that there's a right time or a right age, and it's keeping you stuck. The truth is, you're ready for love when you decide you're ready, not when society says you should be. 2026 is asking you, what if age or timing isn't the real block? What if the real block is that you're afraid and age is just a story you're telling yourself to avoid the fear? Card 2, too much work. You use being busy as an excuse not to date. You must make time for a partner. Aries, we need to talk about this one. On the surface, this is about your schedule. You're building something, chasing a goal, climbing a ladder, and relationships feel like a distraction. You tell yourself, once I finish this project, once I get this promotion, once I have more time, then I'll focus on love. But Aries, there's always another project. There's always another goal. And if you're honest with yourself, you like being busy, because being busy means you don't have to sit with the discomfort of wanting someone and not knowing if they'll want you back. Here's the thing about fire signs and work. You pour everything into what you do. Your identity, your worth, your passion. And that's beautiful, but it's also a defense mechanism. Work gives you control. Work gives you results. Work doesn't reject you, doesn't abandon you, doesn't require you to be emotionally vulnerable. Love? Love requires all of those things. The brutal truth for Aries in the year 2026, you're not too busy for love. You're too scared. You're scared that if you make space for someone and they don't choose you, it'll confirm what you secretly fear, that you're easier to admire from a distance than to love up close. But here's what you need to hear. The right person won't feel like a distraction from your goals. They'll feel like fuel. They'll make you want to build an even bigger life, because now you have someone to share it with. But it can be difficult for you to meet that person if you're too busy to show up. You need to take time for yourself and heal your past trauma before moving on. Okay, Aries, this is the root of everything. Past trauma in love doesn't always mean something catastrophic happened. Sometimes it's the small betrayals that cut deepest. Someone who said they'd stay, but left. Someone who promised they could handle your intensity, but couldn't. Someone who made you feel safe and then used that safety against you. And now, you don't trust anyone to stay, so you don't let anyone close enough to leave. For fire signs, especially Aries, trauma shows up as armor. You become the warrior, the one who doesn't need anyone, the one who's fine on their own. And you are fine on your own. That's not the lie. The lie is that being fine alone means you don't want partnership. You do want it, Aries. You just don't want to get hurt again. Here's what the year 2026 is saying. You can't heal your way into being perfect enough for love. You can't wait until you're trauma-free to open your heart. Healing doesn't mean erasing the past. Healing means you stop letting the past write your future. It means you can look at someone new and not assume they'll do what the last person did. It means you can be vulnerable, even though you've been hurt before, because you finally trust yourself to survive if it doesn't work out. That's the healing this card is asking for, not perfection, just trust in yourself. First one, Wheel of Fortune. This is fate, cycles, the idea that what goes down must come up. In traditional tarot, the Wheel of Fortune represents change you can't control. It's the universe saying, you've been in a low cycle with love, but the wheel is turning. For Aries specifically, this card is crucial, because Aries, you believe in agency. You believe if you work hard enough, push hard enough, you can make things happen. And in most areas of life, that's true. But in love, sometimes you have to surrender to timing. Here's what the Wheel of Fortune is clarifying about your age issues block. You think you're behind or ahead of some timeline. But the wheel says you're exactly where you're supposed to be. The person you're meant to meet, they're on their own wheel, their own cycle. And when both wheels align, when you're both in the upward swing at the same time, that's when it happens. You can't force it faster, but you can waste it by convincing yourself the wheel has already passed you by. The Wheel of Fortune says April through June, that's your upward swing. Something shifts, someone new enters, or someone from your past circles back. But this time, the timing is right. Your job isn't to force the wheel to turn. Your job is to be ready when it does. Four of Wands. This is celebration, homecoming. the card of stable foundation and joyful partnership. Maybe engagement, maybe moving in together, creating a home with someone. It's the card that says, you found your person, and now you're building something real together. But here, it's showing up as clarification for your too much work block. And that's interesting. Here's what it's saying, Aries. The reason you're filling your life with work is because you don't have what the Four of Wands represents. You don't have that stable foundation in love. You don't have that person you come home to. And instead of admitting you want it, you've convinced yourself you don't have time for it. But the Four of Wands is showing up to say, it's coming. The celebration, the partnership, the home you've been building alone, maybe you'll be sharing it with someone by the end of the year 2026. For fire signs, especially Aries, the Four of Wands represents something crucial. You can be independent and partnered at the same time. The right person doesn't take away your autonomy. They don't slow you down. They become your home base, the place you return to after conquering the world. And Aries, you've been afraid that partnership means losing yourself. The Four of Wands says, with the right person, you don't lose yourself. You find a better version, because now you have someone who sees you and stays anyway. King of Swords. This is the card of clarity, truth, mental mastery, and boundaries. The King of Swords is the person who sees clearly, speaks truthfully, and doesn't let emotion cloud their judgment. He's not cold, but he's not ruled by feelings either. He makes decisions based on logic, fairness, and what's right, not what's comfortable. And he's showing up as clarification for your past trauma card, which means the way you heal from past hurt is through clarity. Here's what the King of Swords is telling you, Aries. Stop telling yourself stories about what happened. Stop romanticizing the person who hurt you. Stop making excuses for why they left. Look at the facts. They showed you who they were. They made their choice, and it wasn't you. That's the truth. It's a painful truth, but it's also liberating. Because once you accept the truth, you stop waiting for a different ending. For fire signs, the King of Swords represents mental strength. Aries, you're physically brave. You'll charge into battle without hesitation. But emotional bravery, that's harder for you. The King of Swords is asking you to be brave with your thoughts, to look at your past without the emotional story attached to it, and ask yourself, what did I learn? What patterns do I see? What do I need to do differently so I don't repeat this? Specifically, July through September, you'll have a breakthrough. You'll finally see your past relationships clearly, not with bitterness, not with blame, but with understanding. And that clarity, that's what makes space for someone new who's actually worthy of the love you've been giving to the wrong people. All right, Aries, let's look at all 6 cards together. Here's the complete picture for your love life in the year 2026. You're blocked by 3 things. Age, which is really about timing and fear. Work, which is really about protection and control. And past trauma, which is really about not trusting anyone to stay. But the clarification cards, they're showing me the way through. The Wheel of Fortune says the timing is shifting in your favor, April through June.
The Four of Wands says, by the end of the year, you'll have the stable partnership you've been building your life for. And the King of Swords says, the key to all of it is getting clear about your past so it stops writing your future. Here's your timeline, Aries. January through March, heal. Get honest about what you're avoiding. April through June, the wheel turns. Someone enters. Be ready. July through September, clarity comes. You see your patterns and you break them. October through December, the Four of Wands, celebration, home, partnership. Aries, the year 2026 is your year, but only if you stop hiding behind work. Stop using age as an excuse and start trusting that you're worthy of the love you've been chasing. In this video, I'm not giving you any advice, just voicing what the cards say